yourself, what the dickens is going on there? Well, George is back, and I will explain a little bit later. A warm welcome to the channel. It's Friday, the 22nd of December, 2023. Just a handful more days till 2024. And if you still write a check, how many times are you going to write 2023, or like me, 2022? It's always difficult to change. So another article that I want to talk about is from the China Observer. You can see their picture here. 28.3 billion Three Gorges Dam in danger. China's junk missile incapable of, and it goes in there. Now, if you follow the news related to the US, Taiwan, China relations and the one-child policy, it all becomes rather complicated. I do actually have a theory why the UN and China and America signed the one-child policy, being that Beijing is the authority of Taiwan, is because it happened in 1979. It was just coming out of the Cultural Revolution, the end of the days of Mao Zedong, the chairman of modern China, so to speak, who managed to kill at least 40 million people, but just really didn't care. And they said, if you want to do trade, you've just got to say that Taiwan is part of China. This is my conspiracy theory. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But a lot of missiles are homemade in Taiwan, and they can strike the Three Gorges Dam. There's more feasibility studies. Now, if the worst comes to the worst and China invades Taiwan, America will back Taiwan. Hopefully they do. But again, the Achilles heel, which we talked about many times, of the Three Gorges, is just a weakness. And say, if you continue with this, we'll just put in 2 hypersonic missiles, which Taiwan does build, to the Three Gorges, knocking out a lot of the PLA, which is the People's Liberation Army, and again, knocking out a lot of people in the hundreds of millions. You can see the map here that it can reach this distance. It can reach Beijing, and it can reach the Three Gorges Dam. Are the Chinese missiles enough to actually get rid of the hypersonic missiles from Taiwan? Well, China's never really had a war in recent years and never really used this latest technology, unless they sold it to Russia, unless they sold it to, I don't know, North Korea or Iran. That we don't know. So their missiles have never really been tested. Now, have the Taiwan missiles been really tested? That's another question. So this is the feasibility study which is going on. And a lot of missile testing for the, you could say, the non-nuclear warheads or whatever, we just don't really know. Go and check out the article from the China Observer and leave me a comment below. I think it's time for a break, and this is when some adverts will come up. Do watch the adverts, because then I get a little Christmas bonus. Now, the other part of this video mentioned George is back. Who is George? Well, we don't know. I can guess he's either from Vietnam or Russia. Again, that's one of my conspiracy theories. He will take old videos and old texts from years ago and make it like it is today, like this.
Amidst the persistent heavy rains and the escalating risk of flooding in eastern Anhui province, Chinese authorities have taken a decisive action to alleviate the flood threat.
So it feels like he's presuming that this is happening now. And it's quite strange, because if you go to the weather forecast in China, well, it's cold, yeah, it's snowing in some places, yeah, but there's actually very little rain. So just for a little bit of fun, I'm going to put George's voice, his electronic artificial voice, onto the weather forecast. So it's like a double negative. In other words, it's not happening, and he's just doing porky pies. Yes, during the rainy season in China, there are lots of floods, and we do cover them on this channel. But when they really happen, not 6 months ago and saying it's happening now, when nothing is happening. It's easy YouTube material. It possibly takes him about 10 minutes to put all the stuff together, and bam, how to say, and then plugs it here, and people believe it because it's a natural disaster news. So have a look at this weather with George speaking.
Amidst the persistent heavy rains and the escalating risk of flooding in eastern Anhui province, Chinese authorities have taken a decisive action to alleviate the flood threat. Recent reports from local media reveal that a section of the dam on the Chu River was intentionally detonated in an effort to mitigate the potential dangers posed by rising water. The central and eastern regions of China have been confronted with severe floods, impacting nearly 24 million people and resulting in over 140 casualties. In response to this crisis, authorities have implemented various measures, such as diverting water into backup reservoirs to effectively manage river and lake levels.
That's really all I got for the title of this. Coming up tomorrow, I think on the 23rd of December, what I want to do, I was watching this video of this YouTuber, and he is an English guy, lives in China, works for the CCP, really lazy. You could say he's quite arrogant, rude, impolite, and naive, and possibly blind. Can I do any more insults? But he went to Germany, and he basically insulted the whole German population. Now, I will do this tomorrow and nitpick with him. I just think he keeps on going that China is brilliant, China is excellent. Yeah, China possibly is a very nice place to live if that's your cup of tea. But don't go around other countries saying it's awful, etc., etc., like living in New York. New York is great to live in, but don't live there too long because it'll make you hard. Los Angeles is a great place to live in, but don't live there too long because it will make you soft. All countries, all cities are wonderful for the people who may live there. And if you do have the choice and you don't like it, for example, me, I don't live in the UK, that's my choice. And with that, I decide to live in Southeast Asia. I have lived here for 30 years. Why? Well, originally it was all about the money. There was so much money in Asia. There still is, but now I'm sort of retired. Don't need it, just enjoy. So that kind of video comes up, and he does this with America, he does it with the UK, his hometown, etc. I think it's insulting, and he just does it for clicks, or the state media that he works for tells him to go to Germany or whatever and say, this is awful, unless there's a Chinese influence there. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, don't forget to hit the notification button. And if you are happy to support my work, all the links for the monetary contributions are in the description below. I will wish you now, but I'm sure I'll wish more a little bit later on, for everyone a very Merry Christmas. It's the weekend before, so it's going to get a little bit frantic. The last couple of days of shopping. Oh, if you haven't done your shopping, be really patient. And I will see you shortly on the James N. Cooper Show. Thank you so much for your time. Cheerio for now, and bye-bye. If you do have the time, please check out some of these playlists, hit the subscribe button there, and some of the videos. Thank you.